In your words, for the people who don't know, who is Wahida Clark?
Who is Wahida Clark? The official queen of street literature. I started writing while serving a 10.5-year federal prison bid. My job in the prison was the librarian during the day, and I taught the computer classes at night. So one morning I'm in the library, I pick up this magazine. It was an XXL or a Source, and it had a sidebar article, little picture, this bald-head brother named Shannon Holmes, and he had written a book called Be More Careful. And I'm like, yo, this brother wrote a book and he in prison? And I'm sitting in the prison library and I'm just looking at all the books on the shelves. Then I start visualizing my name, Wahida Clark, on the spines of the books. So that's when I started writing. That was my light bulb moment to start writing. I didn't know how to write, what to write. I wrote my husband, who was also locked up, Uncle Yaya. I said, I'm going to write a book. He said, man, the only way you're going to make money off a book writing, you got to write what, the white folks buy. The pimping, the hoes, the drugs, the killing. So then came thugs and the women who loved them. And that was it.
Wow.
I had to do something because in the federal joint, it costs money to live. You got to have money to wash your clothes, to buy your soap powder. I had my kids home. My husband was locked up. I'm like, I got to make some money. That's what I did, make money. So I just started writing. And lo and behold, as soon as I started writing, a lady that was in the prison, her profession on the street was a literary agent. So she had asked the warden, could she give a class on creative writing? I didn't even know who she was. But once I saw that sign-up sheet come into place, I signed up. I took her course, started writing, started doing everything she said do, and what the literary marketplace, all that stuff said do. And I got published. I got my deal with Carl Weber. He was the first person that signed me.
Wow. And then...
But look, while I took the course and got certificate, graduated from the creative writing class, they came and got me like one morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, took me to the lieutenant's office, was holding up the book, said, how do you do this, Miss Clark? What is this? So I said, what? They said, how you write a book and get it published while you in prison? I said, you guys gave a creative writing course. I took it, graduated. And that's how I did it. So they put me in the hole, kicked me out of there, and sent me to artists in West Virginia. But while I was in the hole for 9 months, that's when I wrote Payback is a Mother. I had already wrote Thugs and the Women Who Love Them, and Every Thug Needs a Lady. So that 9 months in the hole allowed me the time to write another book. So people say, any regrets? Nope, I wouldn't change a thing, because if I changed 1 minute, 1 second, 1 day, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
And so... Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. you see him to change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprints of wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Listen, when I tell you we have royalty in the building, we got the OG, we got the queen of street literature, we got, hip hop fiction. Listen, let me tell you, y'all know me as somebody who get busy with the books. But once upon a time, right, every superstar has a mentor. Every superstar has a coach. Before I even wrote my first book, Wahida Clark was doing her thing, killing it in the game. The official queen of street literature. 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 New York Times bestsellers, over 1 million books sold. Man, it is an honor, my pleasure, to have Miss Wahida Clark in the building. It's a pleasure, it's a pleasure. And we also have the legacy Wahida Clark Jr. in the building, CEO of Wahida Clark Presents Innovative Publishing. Such a blessing. So, you know, I remember I was a banker. I forget, it had to be like 2008-ish, I believe. And I remember, I don't even know how we connected, but I was at a space where I wanted to learn more about the publishing world. Somebody connected us, and he was like, "Yo, come out to my spot." I drove out to East Orange, New Jersey.
That's right.
And you had the whole floor.
Right.
And and you were getting busy with the books, and so right before I even wrote my a book, somebody connected us. I go in there. I got my bank. I'm a banker. I got my suit on. I go out to East Orange, and you got the whole floor printing your own books. Like you were really like you were it. And still are, right? Which is like over a decade later, you still are. Before we get into like how you got here, in your words, for the people who don't know, who is Wahida Clark?
Who is Wahida Clark? The official queen of street literature. I started writing while serving a 10.5-year federal prison bid. When I went in, after about a year, got situated, the feds, after you get sentenced, they send you to your final destination. So one evening I called home, I said, "Guys, send me some money." They said, "Wahida, you ain't got no money. They foreclosing on your property. You're not here to run your businesses. They're being shut down. Your house, the cars, everything's being repossessed. As a matter of fact, we are packing up right now with your 2 kids, and we're moving back up to Jersey," because I was in Georgia at the time. So that was my wake-up call. When I hung up that phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had to make a prayer, had to have that heart-to-heart, what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So shortly, right after that prayer, my job in the prison was the librarian during the day, and I taught the computer classes at night. So one morning, I'm in the library, I pick up this magazine. It was an XXL or a Source, and it had a sidebar article, little picture, this bald-head brother named Shannon Holmes, and he had written a book called Be More Careful. And I'm like, yo, this brother wrote a book and he in prison? And I'm sitting in the prison library and I'm just looking at all the books on the shelves. Then I start visualizing my name, Wahida Clark, on the spines of the books. So that's when I started writing. That was my light bulb moment to start writing. I didn't know how to write, what to write. I wrote my husband, who was also locked up, Uncle Yaya. I said, I'm going to write a book. He said, man, the only way you're going to make money off a book writing, you got to write what, the white folks buy. The pimping, the hoes, the drugs, the killing.
Yeah.
So then came thugs and the women who loved them. And that was it.
Wow. And so, but before we go there, take us to what got you locked up, right? Like that space,
Right here in Atlanta, I was working for this advertising firm. As a matter of fact, I just talked to my boss, AKA my co-defendant, for the first time. They kicked down the doors of the advertising firm I was working for in 1999 or 98. And I'm just talking to him like last week for the first time. Wow. I was a salesperson. Whenever I do, I go all out. I try to be number one. Yeah. So I end up being a top salesperson. When the feds and everybody kicked the doors down, all I kept hearing them say, "Where's the girl? Where's the girl?" And I'm looking around for the girl. What girl? They was talking about me because I was the top salesperson in the company. Wow. So that's how I got my sentence. Wow. And we took it to trial. Yeah. It was like 20 of us, but 6 of us took it to trial. The brother who hired me and got me the job and was my mentor, he ended up being a prosecution star witness. Wow. But we all took it to trial and lost. Wow. That was my time.
And then so it being an advertising company, what was their case against the company?
Money laundering, mail fraud, wire fraud. Wow. We were selling advertising products like Mont Blanc pens, golden brass calculators, nice stuff. But it had the companies who was customers' names engraved on it, and then they would buy the products, And in return, they would get gold coins. So the more products they would buy, the more gold coins they would get.
Yeah.
So, but during that time, the feds said that was a fraud.
Wow.
And I brought that up because when I talked to my co-defendant, he had told me that the top man of the company, he went back to trial and it got it thrown out because the gold at that time was worth like $500 an ounce. So when in 2013, when he went back to court, it was up to like $1,800 an ounce. So they said what we gave out exceeded more than was way more than what it charges for. So
oh wow. But in a way, right, silver lining, you going, you know, in the feds, having this vision change your life on the right path. Or I mean, it wasn't that you were on the wrong path, but it kind of like took your life to the next level, right? And so now you see this book, and you have this vision. You don't know how to write. What's the next step after that?
wow, yes, like I said, I didn't know I could write. Once I got that phone call and made that prayer, I said I had to do something, because in the federal joint, it costs money to live. You got to have money to wash your clothes, to buy your soap powder. I had my kids home. My husband was locked up. I'm like, I got to make some money. That's what I did, make money.
Yeah.
So I just started writing, and lo and behold, as soon as I started writing, a lady that was in the prison, her profession on the street was a literary agent. So she had asked the warden, could she give a class on creative writing? I didn't even know who she was. Yeah. But once I saw that sign-up sheet come into place, I signed up. I took her course, started writing, started doing everything she said do, and what the literary marketplace, all that stuff say do. And I got published. I got my deal with Carl Weber. He was the first person that signed me.
Wow. And then
But look, while I took the course and got certificate, graduated from the creative writing class, they came and got me like one morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, took me to the lieutenant's office, was holding up the book, said, how do you do this, Miss Clark? What is this? So I said, what? They said, how you write a book and get it published while you in prison? I said, you guys gave a creative writing course. I took it, graduated, and that's how I did it. So they put me in the hole, kicked me out of there, and sent me to artists in West Virginia. But while I was in the hole for 9 months, that's when I wrote Payback as a Mother. I had already wrote Thugs and the Women Who Love Them, and Every Thug Needs a Lady. So that 9 months in the hole allowed me the time to write another book. Wow. So people say, any regrets? Nope, I wouldn't change a thing, because if I changed 1 minute, 1 second, 1 day, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Wow. And so what? So they do a class, teach you this thing, you use the knowledge, create this thing, and then you get thrown in the hole for the thing that, wow.
That's right.
Wow.
Not once, twice, because when I went to Alderson, because when I left Kentucky, like I said, I had already wrote Thugs and the Women Who Love Them, Every Thug Needs a Lady. For the federal system, the whole for the camp, for the women, they sent me to a county jail where I was locked down 23 hours a day. But I noticed in this jail, all the females, they had pen pals. So they was writing guys, they wasn't writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they was 10 letters, everybody. So I called home, I said, send me some flyers of my book. So they sent me the flyers. I gave them to the girls to put in all the mail that was writing all the prisons, and my stuff started going out all over the prison, and then that's what really blew me up.
Wow.
So when I left when I left Kentucky to go to Alderson, I went there like a superstar.
Yeah.
So I got to Alderson, fan mail, other authors start sending me manuscripts, Cash, Mike Sanders. Got in trouble again. They said, Miss Clark, you can't run the publishing business while you locked up. Wow. So I got in trouble again.
Wow. And then now fast forward, 4 New York Times bestsellers, over 1 million books sold. You publish books for others. Cash Money, the
first one, kicked the door down. My first book with them was a New York Times bestseller. After that, I kept doing the New York Times bestsellers with Cash Money.
Nice. And then now, books, movies, like you're doing so many things. And then now, you have your daughter. Talk a little bit about that transition. One of the things I want to, first take us back to finding that your mom, is now going to be incarcerated for, and how that impacted you. Mm-hmm. And then now she's home, and now you guys like are business partners and working together.
Okay. All right, but it was rough.
Yeah.
Because when she got incarcerated, I was 13. My sister was like 14 years old, and my dad was already incarcerated. He was doing 40 years for bank robbery. So both of our parents is taken from us.
Right.
So my mom's best friend, Roz, she took care of me and my sister. Thank God for her.
Yeah.
Because she made sure we stayed together, made sure we was going to school, or at least, you know, trying to do something positive. Yeah. So thank goodness for Roz. It's my second mom. Love you, Roz.
Me too.
You know, and my dad, even though he wasn't there, he was always on the phone like, hey, you know, when your mom come home, she gonna need some help. Yeah. So you need to do whatever it is that, maybe some book design or website, something, do something. Because she gonna need whatever assistance, you know, when she come home. I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah. But, you know, I wasn't thinking that at the time. I was only 13. I was like, hey, we'll see. But fast forward to when she finally actually released the books. And, you know, we got the same name. Yeah. So, you know, I'm at my job. People coming in there like, yo, Wahida Clark work here? Wahida Clark? I'm like, yeah, that's me, but that's I didn't write the book. That's my mom's book. Oh, yo, your mom. And I gotta hit a whole song and dance about my mom's book. So that was cool. It was a little weird, but it was cool. Yeah. But then I started doing book cover designs. First, you know, all my friends were rappers and everybody needed flyers. Yeah. And my dad telling me, you know, my mom gonna need some help. So I was like, okay, well, let me get into the design space. So I started doing artwork for that. So pretty much all the books here, I pretty much designed those book covers. Nice. I did all that stuff. So from
Cash Money.
Cash Money. I did all those New York Times bestsellers. Nice. I did book covers for Brenda Jackson. Spike Lee hit me in my DMs, told me he liked my artwork. Marsha Ambrosius from Floetry. Nice. She was like, yo, give me one of them t-shirts. Nice. So, you know, just from that, so like she said, you wouldn't change anything, because I believe if she didn't get incarcerated, I wouldn't even been thinking about doing no artwork or book covers, or even thinking about books. You know, I was into hip hop very big, but I wasn't thinking about, you know, writing or doing no artwork or nothing like that. Yeah. So fast forward to today, look at us here. She's promoted me to CEO of W. Clark Publishing. I'm like, oh Lord, Mama, you know, messed up now. Lord have mercy.
You done gave me the keys.
Yeah, you done gave me the keys.
So already she's like, oh, shut up, Mom, I got this.
You know, I'm rolling out some new plans. You know, got this new sci-fi stuff going on. Yep. But but it's a blessing. I wouldn't change anything. Yeah. Because of that, I started mentoring, worked at the Boys and Girls Club, going into the detention centers with prodigal sons and daughters. I mentor the youth, so that's where I'm at. Yeah.
If you are an entrepreneur, business coach, or small business owner who wants to get more visibility for your product or service, then consider advertising on Inside the Vault. We have been seen and heard over 2 million times, and as the show continues to grow, your ad would be embedded in our episodes forever. So the return on investments on advertising with us is unmeasurable and invaluable. If you're interested in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, then text podcast to 646-687-4152 or email us at info@insidethevaultshow.com. Allow your business to get the visibility that it deserves. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I think that it's a great thing to see, you know, how something that could have been tragic, right? Because, you know, a lot of times parents being incarcerated could really, you know, take children on a different trajectory, break up families, but to be able to kind of see the positive and the light, you know, from it and use it as a way to really build legacy, generational wealth, right? Because this company is, you know, namesake company is now part of the family, and it's going to keep living and living. And the one thing that I love about books is that books create that legacy, right? You create it one time and then you keep getting paid for it over and over and over and over again. And so for me, I've always done nonfiction, right? But as a fiction writer, talk a little bit about that, you know, the importance of reading, the importance of books, how books could help you escape, like even the writing process, even reading books, like how, are books beneficial?
Well, it depends on the situation. Starting with one way it's beneficial. to the brothers and sisters on lockdown. You don't know how many times we be at an event, book signing, flea market, wherever we at. Somebody always come and be like, man, your books got me through my time. And they just bow down. Or the mom with her nurse's uniform with their child standing. My child would not read until they read your books. There's just so many stories, countless. I can't even count them all, of how our genre really got people through some hard times. And I remember in prison being pen pals with some rappers, and they reading their letters, they couldn't even hardly write. So reading is fundamental, and it's something that we have to keep doing.
Yeah. And what advice would you have, as somebody who's been in this space for a very long time, very successful, yourself as well with book covers and, really running the publishing business. There are so many people out there who have ideas, who want to, write a book or release a book. What advice do you have to those people on, where do they start? How do they get to that, to that space of getting their idea on, on pen and paper?
Depends on the person. But the foundation is to do it and don't overthink it. Most people overthink it. People say, I got this book in my head. It's not doing anybody any good in your head. You got to get it out on paper. And then that's for the fiction writers. The nonfiction people, they be like, they the ones that really overthink it, when theirs is the easiest one to knock out. So it's just a matter of them getting coached and getting the right guidance. Somebody to say, look, this is how you just need to set your little schedule and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and get it done.
And is there a formula to a book cover and what makes a book sell, right? Like, is there, can anybody do it, or is there a formula to it?
There is a formula. For me, whenever I work on the person's book cover, first thing I do, I automatically think about the title and the synopsis. And then I go to Google and I look at the top selling book covers that's out right now. So you want to see, what are people gravitating to? What are the color schemes they're looking to? What style they're looking at? They're looking at illustration, looking at photos. What is it? So you look at the market and what's selling, and then from there you think about the synopsis, the title, and then I build from that space. I've seen too many times when people throw a book cover up there with an image they done stole off the internet that's blurry and cropped out. I'm like, yeah, it's my book. I wonder why it's not a bestseller. You can't sell your book if nobody want to even pick it up off the shelf, So the book cover, they say people don't judge a book by a cover, but they do. First thing they do is look at your book cover. You can have the best story in the world, but if that book cover is garbage, they're going to walk right past it. So your color scheme, your font has to be legible, So.
No, I love that.
And I'm glad she said that. The story has to be on point. Because I remember when Thugs and the Women first came out, the cover was whack. But the story was one that resonated with everybody. So that's over the years, the cover was revamped.
Love that. And then, we know as being like authors and understanding, how to get a book to become a bestseller. But some people kind of like have this vision, right? Authors like, all right, I'm gonna write the book, and then now once the book is done, I'm cool. It's going, I'm gonna build it. The people gonna come.
It's so sad.
It
did, and that's so far from the truth. That's why now we don't even sign anyone until we check out their hustle game. Because once you write the book and get it published, that's when your work just starts.
That's just
the
part
book
one.
does not sell by itself. You have to constantly, it's just a constant grind and hustle.
And what has been the most effective ways you've seen, to sell books, So as far as like some tangibles where, people have used or you've used to make sure a book sells and people know about it.
Well, nowadays, story rules all. That never stops as far as fiction is concerned. Your story has to be one that somebody read and be like, oh, you got to read this book. That word of mouth. The second thing is your cover. The third thing is you have to promote. And nowadays with social media, you got to have some type of platform. You can't say you're an author. You go to your social media page, you ain't even got nothing on the book. Nothing. You're sitting there doing selfies or, just talking to your cat. you got to really, it's a hustle game.
Yeah.
Bottom
yeah,
line,
yeah.
no getting around it.
Yeah.
Because I also found out, because the readers, they want to read the book, but they also want to know the author. So if you can connect, if the author can connect to the readers, then that's a boost right there, because the readers will automatically go hard for you. They'll tell people, pick up the book. They'll buy the hard copy, the ebook. You know, they'll do that, but it have to be some type of connection. Your story has to be good.
Yeah. I love that. And then, you know, talk a little bit about, because you've been on both sides, right? From traditional publishing and then now having your own publishing company. What are the pros and cons of both, right? Because, you know, now we have there's print on demand, there's ways that people can publish their own books, but then there's also, you know, still major publishing houses. So talk a little bit about the pros and the cons of both.
First of all, I do got to say, it just dawned on me. We started this publishing company in 2007. What they say, after most businesses last for 3 years, then it's 5 years, and so we got some years under our belt.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And print on demand, we like you said, when you first met me, we had a print shop with the machines. We had the printing machines, the binding machines, the cutting machines.
Yeah.
We was doing everything in-house
I don't
because
miss
during
that
that
at all.
time, it worked for that time.
Right.
But then technology evolves, the customer evolves.
Yeah.
Amazon came in with the ebooks
Yeah.
and everything changed. And print on demand, now print on demand is easy for us. That's more easy for us. And the traditional publishers, it's just harder to get in with a traditional publisher. But if you get in, it's still the same situation. You still got to hustle and grind.
Yeah.
Because they only will give each book so much attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because whether it's you know traditional publishing or self-publishing, print on demand, I get authors all the time that just think that because they finished the book and because they post about it one time or twice, then that's it. But the truth of the matter is, like, okay, cool. Even like you said, even if you have a traditional publisher, it's tough to do that because you need a literary agent. The literary agent has to walk your book in. Once your book is there, then the publishing company literally tells you when the book is going to come out. So you can't price it. They telling you, right? And then once it comes out, they're going to push it a little bit, but then you have to kind of like be on that grind. You know what I'm saying? And then so talk about the transition into film and television and that piece of it, because most great movies we see out here started out as books, right? And so for me, that feels like a natural transition. But talk a little bit about that.
In Hollywood, man, that's a vicious game right there.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot of submissions to Hollywood. They'll turn you down, but they'll still use your ideas. So you have to watch, just know in advance you're taking that chance when you submitting your books and your scripts. They'll be like, no, this now, nothing we can use.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you see it, because like one show out now. I got a character named Tasha in my books. Back in 2003 when I first wrote it. This show has a character named Tasha. I have in the same show, I have a character named Marvin. This show has a character named Marvin. My two thugs had a club. This show has a thug. It has a club.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your Tasha had twins. This Tasha has twins.
Wow.
I mean, just about everything, plot for plot.
Oh,
so that's that's a part of the game.
Yeah.
The film is two-sided. Either do it yourself independently, or like what we're trying to do. We are not trying to do. We're just getting everything together and looking for a distribution collaboration. So,
yeah.
but Hollywood that's a vicious game.
Yeah.
That's
And is there a way though to like protect an idea, or
No.
you can't copyright the idea?
No.
Nothing. Wow.
No, sir.
And so there's not even.
It's all about execution. You come up with the
Yeah.
idea, you have to be the
That's
one
right.
to
Have the
implement
money
it
to
first,
execute.
because then it's yours.
Right.
And anybody do it after that, and they say, well, we
Yeah.
got it from so-and-so.
Right,
That's
right.
it. You can be in the room like this. We come up with a cool idea for a movie,
yeah.
but we don't do nothing. But he takes it,
Right.
goes to BET, tell them. They say,
Right.
yeah, we want to work on that. Now it's his thing. He say,
right.
hey, but that's how it works.
Right.
It's
Wow.
a vicious game.
Wow. And then so talk about that like process though, right? Because can you just take your book and create, like, is it a different writing process, different scripting?
You gotta turn the book into a script or a screenplay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then once you have that screenplay, then it's the process of like if you did it yourself, kind of raising money, or if you're gonna fund it yourself. But usually it's gonna be expensive, and then you raise money. Yep.
But then you keep most of the profits, and then you control your product when you do it yourself. However, versus when you give it to someone and they give the money, then they, depending on the paperwork, they say, okay, you're just the executive producer. I do everything else, so you have no voice. So
you get 5%, we keep 95%. Yeah, but it depends on. Every person is different. Some people be like, that's cool. Just put me on. You see how the music industry, just put me on. Yeah. They don't care the contract is whack or not. They just want to get put on. The same in the movie industry and TV industry. Folks just want to get put on.
Wow. And so, to Wahida Clark Jr., talk a little bit about sci-fi, right? Because that's something that I honestly don't associate with black folk, right?
Really?
And so now, you have a black side. Talk to us about that.
Yes, we have a whole imprint, science fiction for the culture, science fiction fantasy for the culture, where we have books, we have Loners, we have The War We Make, The Road of Resistance, we have The Resurrection, we have Fractured Princess. All of these are black science fiction books, except Loners is white and black.
And Emperors and
Assassins. But that's a space that black people, we are heavily in, but people don't associate us with that space. But as far as the anime market, black people, we are in there. We're cosplaying. If you go on social media and put in black cosplay or just cosplay period, which is, you can dressing up like your favorite anime character, you'll see tons of black men and black women in that space. And for us, we decided to put out this imprint because to paint us in more than one light. We don't just do street lit. We do everything. Black people, we're universal. So science fiction is something that we are heavy in. And the books that we have they're really good. And they all different. None of them are the same. So that's what I like about it. So you definitely got to check out.
I got to check it out.
You definitely.
Because what was it like Matrix, Terminator? That was written by a black woman.
Right. Sophia Stewart. She is the original creator of The Matrix. But just like Hollywood, they told her, no, we don't like this. It's not what we're looking for. And then took the entire...
and created $1 billion.
And she's still going to court with them today, fighting for that.
She said she won. She said that's why you don't see what's the one?
The new one's coming out. They got the new one supposed to be coming out in December. The new Matrix.
You won't see none of her.
But she's fighting for them
and characters. They had to do it different.
And the new one is totally different. If y'all watch the trailer, it's nothing like the other Matrix. It's something totally different.
Won the lawsuit. She was on Clubhouse. You got to catch that. Oh, they probably didn't tape it, but that was a powerful interview.
Wow.
And she said in real life, she's
she's the Oracle.
She said that's her gift. She's in real life. She's the Oracle.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with her that tied in the Terminator with the Matrix, and I didn't even realize it. Like the way she broke it down on how like the Terminator went into, it was like them coming back to the future, to kind of like it was a whole,
very interesting. But it goes to show you that black people, we are in that space, that science fiction space. We just don't get no light shined on us when we do those things. They want us to do this, the pimps and the thugs and the hoes. But we are multi-dimensional.
Absolutely.
She was, I think, the fiance of Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, and she said one of the main characters she pulled from his
Morpheus
persona.
Wow.
And she said, y'all don't know that, but she said,
wow, I love it. And so, talk to us like if somebody right now, wants to start their own publishing company, wants to, put books out there. Like, what is the key to longevity, right? You've had your publishing company since 2007, right? A decade later, most businesses don't make it past, don't make it, right? What's the key to longevity, and where would they start?
Can I answer?
Go right
I'll start.
Ahead.
I will have to say is reputation first. reputation. Your name means everything.
Yeah.
If you do good business will come to you.
Right.
And good business will follow you.
Yeah.
So if you keep everything transparent, that's number one with your business. When you're hiring your authors, if they know what's going on and y'all on the same page, that helps the workflow go smoothly. And then picking good content, picking authors you can work with, and authors that got good material. Because the good material will sell itself. Word of mouth goes. And then you have to have a business plan, a good business plan. Like she had Martha Stewart review her business plan, you know, to make sure.
We didn't talk about how you and Martha was cool.
But those are the first few steps I would say you have to do. You want to chime in, Wahida?
I lost my thought just that quick regarding the flip side of what she said. The road is not easy. You know, being an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. Sure. It's not easy. It's ups, downs. For one of my main things that happened to me was in the height of my career. When I left the feds, I walked out of there with a $9 million restitution. So got out, signed up with cash money, blah, 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 blah. The feds are like, okay, you making a lot of money. Next thing you know, I get a subpoena in the mail. They froze my bank accounts. Everybody I was doing business with, all the Kensington, Simon & Schuster, I had 3 major publishing deals. Subpoenaed all the records, froze my royalty payments, froze everything. I had to put in a petition to go to Phoenix to say, look, guys, what do y'all want from me? But during that time, while they did their due diligence, everything was frozen. Couldn't pay the IRS, couldn't do the payroll, couldn't do royalties. But, you know, I weathered the storm. But, you know, you have the ups and the downs. Then you have, and every author swears, even myself as an author, you get the royalty statement, that's all I made. And everybody, that's all I made. So it's always drama, but you just have to stand firm and just hang in here and be passionate about it and dedicated. This is my livelihood, so we ain't have no choice in the matter but to make it work for all these years. And what's like a typical author deal, right? So if you sign someone, is it based on their popularity? Like how do you structure the royalty and what they would potentially get paid? It depends. Nowadays it depends on the popularity. And we changed our business model. We don't even. You really have to be big for us to give you an advance. Like I told you, we just signed the soccer mom madam. Her story was just on Lifetime. So we did give her an advance, but we don't even give advances no more because most authors don't even earn advances out nowadays. Everybody want to advance. You got to prove yourself. You know, in the past we gave advances. Some of the authors we didn't even get the money back because their book's not selling. So that business model doesn't work anymore.
And I'm glad you said that. So because just for people to understand is that, you know, the business model was, hey, I like this idea. I want to sign your book. Here's the money up front. We'll publish the book. Once the book goes out, it sells. We make the money. We take the money back that we gave you as an advance. And then, you know, now after that, then you start getting a percentage of, you know, whatever the royalty is. But because now, sometimes you give an advance, somebody their books don't even sell.
So the game has changed, and then even for the majors, they're not looking for no regular me and you to come over there, Simon & Schuster to get a book deal.
You really got to come.
No, you have to. They want to look at your social media following. They want to know how many likes you got, how many people following you on YouTube. It's like it's serious. If you're not an influencer,
numbers,
follow that stuff.
They're like, nope.
And what's the future of the publishing game? Do y'all see, you know, books dying, or will books be here forever? Like what are your thoughts on publishing?
They'll be here forever. Like KRS One said, we will be here forever.
Forever and ever.
Yes, they will be, because even in COVID, people are reading more books. Kindle, they downloading books. They got time on their hands, so they going back into these titles.
Feel this paper in your hand, and now, especially for the nonfiction market, the professionals, you know, they're doing speaking engagements and all this stuff. They need physical books.
So
I
love it.
Anyway.
And that's why, you know, I mean I love books, you know, because you know, as somebody who grew up in the banking world, 15 years a banker, to know that an asset is something that you invest in, you put you put it in money into it one time, and then you keep getting paid for it over and over again.
That's so cool.
A book, oh man, like
residual income.
I love it. Like I see all of this, and I'm like, oh, this is, you know, like you could pass this down to you know, like you could keep passing it down, because the truth of the matter is that, you know, you think about Napoleon Hill. He wrote Think and Grow Rich 84 years ago.
Right.
If you go to Amazon right now, it's a #1 bestseller today.
Right.
He's been dead for a long time.
I just bought a book from him. Just came in the mail yesterday.
Yeah.
Some ink cartridges and a Napoleon Hill book yesterday.
Yeah. You know, and so the legacy, you know, it lives. Your name lives forever when you do that. And so, you know, now, you know, you guys have your company. You're, you know, successful. If you were to give advice to your 18-year-old self, and I'm asking both of you, if you would give advice to your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give young Wahida, and what advice would you give young Wahida at 18?
You go first.
Oh man. Okay, we gotta go back to what I was doing when I was 18.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I was smoking weed, playing video games, and working retail. That was my life.
Yeah.
Retail, weed, and video games. So if I would go to me, I would say, hey, stop smoking so much weed and stop spending all your money on video games. There's other things. Invest your money. Learn the stock market. Learn how, for real, and eat healthy. Stop eating them burgers on your break. That's what I would tell myself. And finances, financial literacy, education. Focus on those things. That's what I would tell myself.
My 18-year-old self, I was just having your sister, her sister. I got 2 girls. It was her and Hassana. I wouldn't change anything at all, because I'm glad I had those 2, and my life got me to here. While I was in prison in Alderson, after I got published, other authors all over the country were sending me manuscripts and fan mail. Here I was, a 9th grade dropout, did go back and get my GED. And you know, here they did sending me manuscripts, asking me to, you know, look at my manuscript and give me some guidance. The ran away at 14 years old, and 9th grade dropout. Here I am reading people's manuscripts, giving them advice. I wouldn't change anything.
No, I love it. And Martha Stewart, can we talk about Martha for a second? The billionaire. When
Martha came to Alderson, I knew she was coming. She with the media, she did the 52 fake out, because the media said, oh, she's going to Danbury. But I had called home, and my agent at the time, Mark Gerald, was dating her niece or some type of connection. So when I called home, they said, Mark called. He said, Martha's coming there, and introduce yourself, look out for her, let her know who you are, and like that. So the day that she came, I'm sitting in the TV room. I think I was watching a Lakers game and writing. And my mom, I had a prison mom, Diana Sanchez. She came. I'm just sitting there chilling with my lounge clothes on. She came, daughter. She's Puerto Rican. Daughter. I said, what? She said, the lady is here. Get dressed. The lady is here. She wants to see you. The lady is here. I said, what lady? She said, get dressed. The lady is here. Martha Stewart. So I said, oh, okay. So I run, there was something on. So Alderson prison camp is like 100 acres, huge. So my dorm was up the hill, and Martha was down the hill. So we walked down the hill. So I'm going down the hill, and I see all the ladies out. Martha's standing there, all the ladies. It was like a big meet and greet. Everybody was so excited that Martha Stewart is on the compound. So I introduced myself. That was a quick thing, but Martha was there. She did her time. Only time, you know, we wasn't hanging out or anything like that. We worked out at the same time. Her time at the gym was my time at the gym, so I would see her every day at the gym working out. And I'm just there when and the prison allowed us to do a business day. So Martha they let us rent the room, not rent the room, we used one of the big rooms, and she did a segment on business trends. So everybody poured in there, and they let her use the slides and stuff, so that was cool. And then I did one on writing and publishing. So that's the only thing we did together. And just before she left, I said, Martha, you got to look at my business plan before you left. So she said, meet me at the library. Met at the library. She took it with her that night. Next day she came back, gave me the feedback, and then Martha was gone.
Wow. Beautiful thing. And so now, you know, as people are navigating post-pandemic COVID, and, you know, people are waking up to trying to figure out how to be successful in business, as two women who have gone through a lot of ups and downs and, you know, weathered a lot of storms, what advice would you have for any entrepreneur who's currently, you know, going through, you know, something?
That's a good question.
I would say know your numbers. Know your numbers, know your business.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to be doing business and not know what your numbers are or what your market is, what other people are doing in your lane.
Yeah.
You have to know your business. Don't just start something and be blindly, you just figuring it out, throwing money into it and don't even know what you're getting back or what you're putting out. So definitely know your numbers and have a schedule. Have a schedule so you can know when to check your emails, do your calls, your follow-ups. That's so important.
Love it.
For me, basically the same thing, knowing the fundamentals of running a business. A lot of us, we just start a business, don't even have your paperwork right, don't even, you know, you need an accountant, CPA. Yeah, just knowing the business fundamentals. And I'm at the stage now where I use coaches. I have coaches. That's where I'm at now. So I like having coaches because you need to navigate quickly and be able to execute and implement quickly as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of people don't realize, especially our people, right? Like, we don't realize the importance of coaches, mentors, you know, paying too, right?
Paying
like not like trying to, you know, right? Exactly. Like, no, like pay for a coach, pay for mentorship, like pay to get yourself in the room, because to be honest, when you pay to get in the room, it's like that's like a cheat sheet.
That's right.
Like you get access to connects, you get access to a lot. You know,
and our attitude be like, I ain't paying to talk to him, or I ain't paying to talk to her, or I ain't paying to get in that room. You better if you want to be successful. Or else do it the slow way, or do it the fast way. That's the difference.
And networking is important too.
Absolutely.
When you do make a connection with somebody, stay up, you know, follow through. That is very important, because I got my first celebrity client just networking on Instagram. Shabadoo, y'all remember Shabadoo? May he rest in peace. From Breaking, he put Turbo and Ozone. Well, I started my T-shirt line with him. We collaborated, and we came up with designs that spark up nostalgia. His thing was the retro '83, so it was all breaking material and stuff like that. So that was my very first person I actually signed, had a licensing deal, to print T-shirts and stuff. Well, I was about 19 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know how to do royalties. I was like, I got to do royalties.
So like, Wahida, you got to get this man his royalties.
You know, I had no idea, but you know, but I got it just through networking.
And relationships. Building relationships. One of my coaches, JT Fox, said 70% of your time should be building the relationships, because the relationships is powerful.
That's actually the currency.
Right.
A lot of people focus on money.
That's right.
But relationships is greater than money.
That's right.
You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money. You got good relationships, you'll always be good.
That made me think of, so New York, the Universal Hip Hop Museum. Maisha Hendricks, Jimi Hendrix's daughter. We had hired her to do some PR for us. And when she reached out, when she said, Martha Diaz want to talk to you, another Martha. What's up with the Marthas? So we're over their literacy department for the Universal Hip Hop Museum. We did a proposal to get street lit into the hip hop museum, because we're trying to tell them street lit is hip hop. The rappers rap. What we you know, it's the same thing. So we made that happen. So Street Lit is now in the Universal Hip Hop Hall of Fame. We got that done. Team WCP, we got that done.
Love it.
So So one of the things we're going to do with that, other than the literacy department, is set up an imprint, the Universal Hip Hop Legacy Series, whatever we're going to call it, because we already got Grandmaster Caz, we already signed Easy Mo B, and we get ready to sign another sister, but I can't say her name yet. But I think that's going to be dope.
Nice. Congrats.
So we got Street Lit in the Universal Hip Hop Museum.
All through relationships.
All through
relationships.
That's right.
And so let's change gears a little bit and talk about money, right? Being made a lot of money, lost a lot of money. What would you say is the most extravagant thing you have done with money so far in our individual?
Believe it or not, I spend all my money on courses and coaching.
Yeah.
Like one of my coaches for the year is 30 G's.
Yeah.
So I love education.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And I love marketing.
Yeah.
So all my extra dollars, I take for that.
Okay.
And then when we travel, when we travel, it's business. We have to buy clothes to travel.
Right. But for me, all my money goes into my business. New computers, software upgrades, camera upgrades.
She likes that technical stuff.
Right. And
I like the education.
Right. Just got a direct to garment printer so we can print our own shirts so we don't got to outsource no more.
Nice.
So that's where my money goes through.
Yeah. And what would you say is the most?
I'm not done yet. Though. When I get that answer for you, Ash Cash, I just did something extravagant.
Yes. All right, let's go.
That hasn't really happened right now.
Yeah.
I just like coaching and learning.
Yeah. And what would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money?
I think with Prodigal Sons and Daughters.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm the vice president of a 501c3 Prodigal Sons and Daughters. We just purchased 40 acres of land in Hampton, Georgia. We're going to set up a big thing.
Yeah. Love it. And talk about Prodigal Sons and Daughters real quick, though.
Go ahead.
Prodigal Sons and Daughters Redirection Services. We're based in East Orange, New Jersey. However, we have locations in Florida and here in Atlanta. And what we do is, not only do we service men and women who are incarcerated on their way coming home, connecting them back with their families. We also help the ones who are in the halfway house get back on get jobs, get their paperwork together, their license, get housing.
We're going to the youth houses.
Right.
So because we have a mentorship training program with 6 skill sets. You just got to be of the right mindset in prison and coming out of prison. So we're like it's the people business. Prodigal Sons and Daughters, we're in the people business because we have to change the mindset of the individual.
Yeah, if y'all need help with financial literacy, I would love to.
Yes, right.
We do.
Yeah.
Right, and we're here in Atlanta.
That's one of our 6 skill sets.
Financial literacy. Right. And also here in Atlanta, we work with the Braves, the Hawks, the Falcons, and we do fundraising. They allow us to do fundraising. Nice. We bring a lot of our members there. Nice. And there's a lot of on-site, hands-on training.
And they like our organization because, like I said, we train them for the mindset. They like our people that we have because it's a bunch of organizations that volunteer at these stadiums. But Prodigal Sons and Daughters, they even had us training the new ones that can't come in because they like the quality of people that we have, but it's all because of the mindset.
And what would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money so far?
Well, I spend all the money on the kids, the youth. I like to put together things for them to do, take them out somewhere. Or being
homeschooling.
Homeschool. I homeschool my nieces and nephews, so they over my house all week. Going through that. So I actually set up the whole school in the house. Blackboard, desk, all that. Because in order to get the kids to want to come to school, they got to feel like they're going to school.
For sure.
Otherwise, I ain't going downstairs. So I spend all my money on the children. I don't even have my own children, but I put my money back into kids.
So we haven't even we just really started living. So we ain't even done yet. We just getting started.
Nah, for sure. And then so, if somebody right now has a 9-to-5, has a job, right, wants to be an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to them?
Start studying. Learn business fundamentals. Learn how to start a business. Know what you're going to get into. And I heard Jesse Jackson say you got to master your craft. Master the craft. And being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart because it's hard.
Yeah.
You have to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
You can't depend on nobody. It costs tons of money.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of sweat equity in being an entrepreneur. If you weak or thin-skinned or lazy, don't even bother. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Because I remember when I decided I wasn't going to work retail no more. I went to work that day. I said, I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not me. I can't do. I have to do my own thing.
Yeah.
But when I made that decision, I was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do to make money? You go to work, you're on the clock, you're going to get paid. But when you're working for yourself, if you don't put in those hours and you don't get no check. So I had to figure that out. I was like, oh, that's how that works. Okay. So you have to really start managing your time and thinking about your clients and how to, so I would say don't quit 100%. Until you got your workflow right. And you got your clients in hand. Because next thing, you don't want to just quit and then you have no money coming in. Yeah. And then now you're looking for clients.
Right.
That's the wrong way. Keep your day job until you get it going and then shut them off.
Exactly. And so what's next for Wahida Clark Presents Innovative Publishing?
Bigger and better things. More film, TV.
More books. More great clients. We're excited about the clients. Can't wait for Easy. You know who Easy Mobi is,
of course,
right?
Okay.
Can't wait for his book to drop. Can't wait for the Soccer Mom's book to drop.
Janine Dettori's book. She got a cookbook coming out. Mob Wives. That's going to be good.
It's just building relationships. It's just exciting because sometimes I do free coaching, and you don't never know who you're talking to. You be like, "Ooh, I like you." Yeah. And it's just exciting.
Yeah. Love it. All right, we're gonna do a quick lightning round. In the lightning round, we're gonna take some bank terms and then flip them for us here inside the vault. Right.
Okay.
So the first term is deposit slip. Deposit slip is a piece of paper. You fill it out. You put the money deposit into a bank. Here for us inside the vault, deposit slip is a money mistake, right? A slip up. What would you say is your biggest deposit slip that you've ever made?
My biggest slip up, not paying your taxes on time. That's key. You in business, pay Uncle Sam. What the Bible say, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Pay those taxes. That's important.
Yeah.
I would say my biggest slip up is not putting my bills on auto pay. Because I be forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Pay that.
And especially with do you hear all the trouble all the celebrities get into? You just get that money and just spend it. No, you got to chip some off and pay those taxes.
Yeah. And have a good accountant too to make sure
that's powerful.
Yeah,
that's
for sure. All right. Turn number 2 is charge off, right? Charge off. You borrow some money from the bank. You don't pay the bank back. The bank is hounding you. Eventually, they're like, you know what? We ain't gonna get this money. We're gonna charge it off. But for you to on your journey, what kind of people or mindsets did you have to charge off?
Plenty. Yeah. Snakes. Rats, they be in your camp. Yeah. So I charged off those type of people. Yeah. And sometimes we sign an author, be like, nope, this ain't good. We cancel the contract. Wow. Right then and there. We see it's not a good fit. So that's our charge off. Even though we gave you the what do you call it? Advance.
No, we're done with
Forget it. About it. Charge you off.
Right. And low vibrational people. People who come into your circle and they are low vibrational. You trying to do things and they just bringing you down. Yeah. Or you mention a win and they say something negative. Yeah. You got to get rid of those type of people.
Wow. Charge them off.
Yeah. Last but not least, trust account, right? So a trust account is where you take your valuable assets, you put it in this trust account, you protect it, you help it, it helps it grow. What type of people or mindsets do you have in your trust account?
Oh, my husband, my daughters, my closest team around me. Yeah. I have to put them in a trust account.
Yeah. Right. And what's that characteristic though that you look for?
Loyalty. Integrity.
Honesty.
Yeah.
and just truthful.
That's it.
Yeah.
100% truthful. Like my dad, he'll tell you the truth. He don't sugarcoat nothing. He'll tell you straight up. And even my sister, she loves to bust the bubble. She's a professional bubble burster. That's what she does.
Yeah.
But but she's honest with it.
Yeah.
She won't let you do something and thinking you got it together. She'd be like, no.
Yeah.
That's not working.
Love it. We're gonna throw a bonus in here, right? One more.
Let's do it.
ATM, right? ATM is when you put your card in, you ask for the money back, and you start getting some money from there. For us here inside the vault, ATM is another teachable moment, right? And so, each of you, I would love for you to give our audience a teachable moment, something that like words of wisdom, or something that you want them to take away.
If it's to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
You have to make it happen.
Yeah. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
And I would say what my dad always say, you don't know a smooth road until you have a bumpy road to compare it to. That's what my dad always
Quote
said.
from Uncle Yaya.
Yeah.
Another one of our best sellers. Uncle Yaya, 21st century man of wisdom.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. All right, y'all. There we have it. The queen of street lit hip hop fiction and the namesake CEO of the Wahida Clark Presents Innovative Publishing. If people want to connect with you, if they want to find you, where can they find you?
wclarkpublishing.com, Wahida Clark on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
On Instagram, Wahida Clark Media. On Twitter, Nuance Art. Facebook, Nuance Art.
All right, y'all. Oh, I know Nuance Art.
Yeah. Yes. Most people, they don't connect the two.
Right. Because I remember when Wahida would be like, hey, Nuance Art can do your...
Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right, y'all. We are closing. That's funny. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Follow me, Ash Cash, at I am Ash Cash on all social media platforms. Make sure y'all tap in, tune in, tell a friend, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time, same place, in God's will. Peace.
Oh yeah. You won't Ash Cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.